Before we begin, thank you very much to Armada Sideswipe, retooled as a headmaster, for joining the Patreon campaign. No, don't do that. Don't throw another gimmick into that toy. It can barely contain itself now. But regardless, thank you very much for the support. It is very, very appreciated. So I'm going through like a weird little period where, like, for a few days, probably like over the weekend, you're gonna see some videos where it's just like a quick little intro, because I'm gonna have to pre-record a lot of my upcoming stuff, just because I'm gonna be too busy to record as is for the weekend. The trick to this is I don't actually have enough shout-outs to make it through the time. At the moment, I've got one more left in the bank, and if it ends there, that's cool, but also we're like 5 away from 300 in a row. So I'm just giving you the opportunity to keep the game going. If you want to keep it going, it's entirely up to you. But just the shout-outs might be a little bit weird from now on. If I get enough to go through the entire time I am away, then, you know, it's just going to look odd. So, that out of the way. Let's get to the real business of the day. It's my Thanksgiving Day video, which means, of course, we're going to do what I am thankful for in the world of Transformers in the year 2023. I don't want this to go terribly long, but we're just going to hit a few things, you know, because it's a holiday. You should be with your family. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, out of your holiday, to actually come visit me and hear what I have to talk about. Always appreciate it. But of course, I have international fans, in which case, I hope you're having a good Thursday. Point being, let's talk about a few things that I am thankful for in my Transformer world. And of course, that has to start with, you. You. I'm pointing at you. He's pointing at you. But I'm pointing at you too. No, now I'm pointing at you. I am grateful to all of you. Whether you are pitching in on Patreon or just coming to watch what I do. The point is, you're willing to sacrifice of yourself, whether it is your time, your energy, or your money, to actually see what I do and to want it to keep going. And that does mean everything to me. And I am grateful to everyone who actually takes the time to actually be curious about what I am doing and actually comes here and finds entertainment in all the weird rambling I do and all the random topics I cover. It means a lot to me. Like, you remember, you know, I was the quiet kid in high school. Like, going throughout my entire childhood, I was just kind of the quiet kid. I didn't have too many friends. And, you know, if I spoke up about something, no one really cared. So the fact that there are now almost 50,000 of you following me is kind of incredible. So thank you, everyone, for turning this hobby of mine into something that has literally changed my life. You know, and that's thanks to you guys. TJOmega is just a weird name. TJOmega is just a weird name I came up with in high school if it wasn't for you guys actually making it something. So thank you very much for that. But let's get into some actual Transformer topics. Let's get into actual Transformer things. Just general things going on in Transformers that I am grateful for. I am grateful for Generation Selects. I feel like, even though it's slowed down this year, it's been such a great tool for getting things out into the Transformer realm that otherwise would have had absolutely no chance of actually making it. Things like, you know, like Black Zarak here, which might have done okay at retail, but they can only do one Titan at a time that way. I could point, like, there's a lot of stuff that feels like it would have been right at home in a BotCon lineup. Something that FunPub would have come up with. So it is great to see that Selects has evolved into something that, you know, not only gets in a lot of random, super obscure characters that fans want, but would actually kind of die a death at a retail level, but also that it just kind of replaces that instinct of just, let's do whatever. Let's just throw in whatever random character we want. You know, and I could extend that thank you to things like Velocitron and Toxitron, because they are toy lines that just kind of do super weird random things. And that is a wonderful thing, I think. You know, it really does make it feel more fun as a franchise when you have so much unpredictability and, like, wow, the expectation of, like, we could actually get that. That super random Diaclone repaint, we could get that. You know, if I want to see those Insecticons in the red and green Diaclone color someday, we can see that. That's possible. I could act, and things like that just kind of like makes it interesting. Makes it really interesting to me. Other things in Transformers in general I am thankful for. I'm thankful Articulation is basically standard now. You have to remember, like, my collecting really started in the Unicron trilogy, where it was so inconsistent. It was so inconsistent. You would get a figure like, off the top of my head, like Armada Smokescreen. And you'd have like bare basic articulation level in that figure. But then you pick up the Deluxe Optimus Prime and the articulation is great. You pick up Hoist and the articulation's great. And then you pick up, Sideswipe. And the articulation is back to being terrible. Above all else, it feels like if they try to do anything in Transformers now, it is to get in the standard points of articulation: the neck, the waist, the hips, the thigh swivel, the knee bend, the ankle tilt, the biceps swivel, the elbow bend, the neck. Like I probably mentioned the neck. It's a different neck. It's wonderful that I can actually pick up a Transformer and know that the articulation is going to be consistent across the board. Now, that doesn't mean it is like universal. I know if I pick up an Earthspark Deluxe, it's going to have different articulation standards than a Generations Deluxe because of the difference in the line, the difference in the price points. I know that going in. But it is just kind of refreshing, and it's been great. I didn't think about this until I just realized, no matter how, even if a Transformer comes out a dud, even if it's, if the transformation isn't what it should have been, if it's got too much kibble going on, at the very least, I can't remember the last time I picked up a Generations Transformer and went, man, the articulation on this is actually really bad. It's something I can count on. It's something reliable, and that I am thankful for. Some more specific things. I'm actually thankful for the Pulse streams. I make fun of them because, a lot of times they don't give us behind the scenes. They kind of just give us marketing fluff. And they'll go over things that we've already seen reviewers leak early. Or things that we've already known about for a while, whatever. But, I'm genuinely thankful for them. Keep in mind, one of my big criticisms of Hasbro is that they really aren't forward enough with their future plans. They don't tell us far enough ahead what they are actually planning to do, so that we collectors can kind of, purchase accordingly. But it is genuinely a great resource, and it's a great thing that Hasbro does. Instead of waiting for BotCon or Toy Fair to run, keep in mind, we used to have it to where there was only 2 real sources of information. Maybe you get something at Toy Fair, but really it was San Diego Comic-Con and BotCon, and that was it. That was the 2 times that you had these huge drops of big Transformer news, and you got to find out the next 6 months to a year's worth of product. But now we find out a few, now it's every couple months you can kind of count on a Pulse stream to come on and go, here's a dozen new toys that we are going to be releasing. And that's a fantastic thing. I think that's a really good thing. Just the overall transparency, while yes, I feel like it needs to be better, is still better than we have had in recent years. So I am thankful for that. I'm thankful for the work that they do on those streams. Another general one in the Transformers realm, I'm thankful they complete teams now. This was a huge thing again back when I started collecting. It was weird because for a long time, it was okay for them to just do one member of a team and forget about all the others. Fall of Cybertron had an awesome kickback design, and then that was it. They didn't do anything else beyond that. It was just, hey, here's kickback, bye. They did the same thing with Fall of Cybertron Dinobots, They're doing it right now with Studio Series Dinobots. What am I talking about? So I guess they're not perfect yet. But I do like the idea that if we're getting one, we can pretty much guarantee we're getting all of them. Even something like Studio Series Dinobots, the 86 ones that I'm mentioning now. Previously, I was talking about the movie ones. Now we're talking about the 86 ones. That's a lot to get that many leader class out. They're all consistent. That's actually pretty impressive. I'm actually really happy that Hasbro managed to do that. And yeah, we're still waiting for Swoop to drop. to complete the team. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good because all of the Dinobots so far have been really good. Same thing with the Insecticons. The last time they did a set of Insecticons, it was across 3 different toy lines, and they were very inconsistent with each other. Some used translucent yellow plastics, some did not. They used different shades of yellow, they used different shades of purple. It made it very, very weird. Even engineering standards changed pretty radically between them. You know, Kickback was overcomplicated for what he is, and then like Bombshell was pretty much basic Bombshell. Things like that. You know, now that there is a dedication to actually making sure the teams come out correctly. They still get it wrong once in a while. I want my core class Skywarp that doesn't have a slingshot thing. But you know what? I am at least happy that they put a lot of effort into just getting full teams out now. Like, I know that if they're going to do one from a set, they're going to do all of them from a set. It's nice to have something you can count on across Hasbro, right? Let's go to the Takara side. I am happy that old school Takara is back. Now, I was talking with Red Claw in my previous video, which you haven't seen. Go. We have a great discussion. It was a lot of fun for us to do. But we were talking about this, and one of the grievances that he had, which I share, is the fact that, you know, if we had known Takara was going to do upgraded versions of all the new Beast Wars toys, we would have just waited for them. We wouldn't have bought all the Kingdom ones, but we couldn't have known. You know, Takara probably didn't even have it in their plans to begin with to go this route. But you know what? Thrilled that they did, because it is old school Takara. You know, it is back to like pushing the limits of what these molds can be, accuracy wise, and how much they can actually do with the paint to really push the accuracy and the detail. I love this. You know, it started with like the premium edition figures, the premium finish figures rather, and they were good. They were good, but you know, it was for the War for Cybertron cartoon, which is kind of niche and not very popular. So to do it again on something like Beast Wars is wonderful. I originally wasn't going to collect into these, but honestly, they look so good. I thought to myself, you know, if there's one cast of characters I want to be as absolutely perfect on my shelves as possible, it's Beast Wars. So I'm going in on those. I've got Optimus and Megatron beside me. I'm about to get charged for set number 2. Just ordered set number 3 as well, actually. So I'm thrilled with this. I wish it was a little bit more transparent, but you know what? I have an eBay page. I can solve this problem. I am thankful that windowed packaging is returning. I have been very cynical about windowed packaging throughout, you know, or the whole like plastic-free packaging movement that Hasbro has been doing, because frankly, it's never felt genuine to me. It's always just felt like it was a cost-cutting measure, and I still believe that. I have no reason to not believe that. Because it's just cheaper to produce cardboard trays inside the box rather than like perfect bubbles to fit each and every individual figure. It's a whole other process at the factory they don't have to pay for now. And the window in the packaging was the same too. But here is the very first Transformers packaging we have seen since this began that actually has a plastic window on it. And they pointed out for collectors, hey, you can actually keep these nice and protected like we used to. The trick here is I still do not believe this is in the best interest for collectors. I genuinely believe that this came back because they were sick of having to deal with the stores like Walmart and Target dealing with vandalized products, because some idiot on TikTok made it cool to vandalize toys all of a sudden. So when you have that breathing down your neck, yeah, you're going to see them start protecting the toys in package again, which makes a lot of sense. You know, even if it wasn't for that, I would still be in favor, because kids are grubby. Kids will reach and grab and do with whatever they will if they can actually get their fingers on it. That includes a toy in an exposed box. I'm more thankful that this came out because guess what? Hasbro to this point had not confirmed that Transformers was one of the toy lines that was getting plastic windows back. Because guess what? they announced it for a few brands, but they didn't mention Transformers. So this is the first confirmation the Transformers are getting their windows back. Good. Glad to see it. So, I mean, there's more of the cynicism I could go on, but we got to talk about this in another video coming up, so we'll leave it at that for now. And then we'll move on to the last thing that I was thankful for. I was thankful for a TFcon that actually came to Florida. It does seem like I might try to fly out to LA for the next one, but to actually get to experience it without the expense of a plane ticket wrapped into it was wonderful. Meeting so many people was incredible. Other YouTubers, finally getting to like connect to other YouTubers on this platform. That was great. You know, and just the overall experience was wonderful. I had more fun at TFcon than I did at BotCon. And I went, the only BotCon I went to was 2010 before it got really bad. So I was delighted. I was absolutely delighted at TFcon. And yeah, I'm thankful for the experience. I'm thankful they actually came down somewhere where I could get to go. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. I had enough fun that now, yeah, I'm actually willing to take a chunk out of my spending budget to just fly there next time. Potentially. We'll see. So that's going to do it. I could go on and on, because obviously this franchise has given me a lot. Even at its worst, it has still given me a lot. So I'm thankful for a lot of things that go on in it. But just in general, yeah, just it's kind of a big deal. So I'm in my life in general. So yeah, I am thankful to this brand. I'm thankful for all of you. And of course, thank you all for watching. Yeah, leave your thanks in the comment section below. Not for me. What are you thankful for Transformers doing? And yeah, then go be with your families. It's a holiday for some of you. But thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.
We parlay with the captain.
You think a werecroc is going to listen to elvish rules of piracy?
Of course it would be the freaking elves that invented parlay.
I had to think of a quick replacement for the French.